Hello, what's up, everybody? Welcome back. Another AEW Dynamite recap by the boys. What's up, my man?
Not too much. How about you?
Same as always. April 14th, 2021. It's half gone of the 4th month of this year already. It seems really fast.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean,
It's blown
2021
past.
has
Yeah.
zoomed by much faster than 2020.
Yeah, that's a good point. Fair point. Considering probably most of us were on lockdown about this time last year.
Yeah, well, I still am. Well, that's just the life I lead, but
hmm
that's besides the point. Anyway, what did you think about AEW Dynamite today?
I thought this Dynamite was great.
Really?
Huge step up from last week. Yeah.
Okay.
How about you?
I thought it was okay. It was good. It was, you know, most of the time I always, most of the time I'm kind of like it was alright. Not, there has to be something really bad for me to hate it, and there has to be something really good for me to give it the thumbs up. I'm more of a like, okay, this was fine, or thing. So yeah, this was fine. There was some really good things. There wasn't really anything too bad. I think nothing really pissed me off tonight. Maybe a few nitpicks, but other than that, nothing that stood out that was just like, this is absolutely stupid.
Yes, that is actually really one of the biggest, I guess you could say, pros about this Dynamite. The biggest compliments you can make about this Dynamite. There was nothing that really irritated me or pissed me off, or was like, that's the dumbest thing they've done. So that's good, at least.
Well, I
Uh,
mean, there was one thing that I didn't like, but we'll get to that. But it wasn't to the point where I wanted to turn off the TV or anything like that, or switch over to the other wrestling show on Wednesday nights.
which is
I don't know.
crickets. Yeah.
There's got to be something. You can load up Twitch and watch PAC or something.
I think that's on Thursdays now,
I
actually.
think but I
Yeah.
think they're just on a continuous. They're just
Oh, they're
always.
just on a
They're just
continuous loop.
always. No, I mean not a continuous loop, but they're
Oh,
always on playing something.
oh, okay,
I think you
got
can
it.
drop in on Impact's Twitch. Don't do that now, but whatever. So anyway, we got AEW Dynamite April 14th, 2021. We got the Young Bucks, and this was good. They're talking about why they did what they did last week. They chose friendship, and uh, they didn't sell out. They chose friendship. They chose their friendship with Kenny Omega, and they thanked John Moxley, and they say Don Callis was right, and now it's time to show everyone a newer, better version of themselves. What did you think of this?
It was a good way to open Dynamite, actually. I actually want to see more things like this open Dynamite. That may sound weird, but sometimes it feels a little odd when they just jump into a match without any real exposition, I guess. Um,
Yeah.
yeah.
And sometimes you want a damn explanation. You don't want to wait 2
Yes.
hours to get it.
Yes. This was great because they went straight into the match after, but they also had some exposition on what happened last week, which was the perfect time because we were left wondering what happened at the end of last week. And if, like you said, if the Young Bucks didn't explain themselves till an hour and a half into Dynamite, it would have been like, yeah, it would have lost all relevancy at that point, kind of. Like we already saw them play, we already saw them face Death Triangle. Do we really need to hear what they have to say now? So this was good. I liked it.
Yeah. So we got Mike Tyson. He's in the back, and before he says anything, MJF does his Lance Archer Team Taz impression and interrupts. And he says, he's talking to Mike, and he's kind of trying to persuade Mike to lean a little bit on Dax's side in the matchup with Jericho coming up. And he says, I'm not asking you to cheat, but be on the right side of history. And he talks about regrets, and he says, looking at your face, he has one. And then Mike Tyson gets in his face. MJF gives him a blank check, and then Mike rips it up, eats it, and spits it out. Your thoughts?
This is so good. I don't know what it is about people eating stuff and then spitting it out. Like when Miro ate that piece of paper and then spit it out.
What's better
It
than him
was
swallowing the piece of paper?
That's true. It was pretty funny though. And it just had that comedic element of being like a couple seconds too long. Like Tyson was really eating that check, and then he finally spit it out at MJF.
So, what one nitpick? Are we supposed to believe that MJF has more money than Mike Tyson?
Yeah, that was kind of odd.
I
Like, what
mean,
happened if Tyson put $1 billion in there? right? I don't
I
fucking
guess
know.
so
Like, yeah.
because I mean Mike Tyson did lose a lot of his money or something, right, from Don King, a bunch of other. But still, I would think he's at this point in his life, he's probably got a little more money than MJF,
Yes, that's
even with all
true.
that stuff. So that's a minor nitpick. It was whatever. It was fine. It served it. It's like whatever. It's just MJF trying to get a little advantage and Mike Tyson not having it. So it's cool, right?
It would have been funny if Tyson like didn't do that, left us suspicious, kept the check, but helped Jericho, and then tried to cash the check after in some kind of like
That
promo.
actually would be really good. Like he wrote like some number on it, and then next week MJF's like really pissed off, and we're like, "What's he so pissed off about?" It's like Mike Tyson like cashed my check. I have no money in my bank account now.
Yes,
That
I
actually
know
would have
that.
been really good.
That would have been so good. He betrayed MJF, and he still cashed his check. That
Yeah,
would have been so good.
that actually would have been funny. I would have liked that. Anyway, we've got the
Uh,
lineup here tonight. We've got Dax versus Jericho with Mike Tyson as the special enforcer. Chris Statlander versus Amber Nova. Anthony Ogogo is making his debut. Red Velvet versus Jade Cargill. Christian Cage talks, and they're hyping up that he's actually going to be in front of the crowd this time. And Darby Allin is going to defend the TNT title against Matt Hardy. But up next, we've got the Young Bucks versus PAC and Phoenix for the AEW Tag Team titles. And before we get into it, what is your thoughts on this match? The Young Bucks versus PAC and Phoenix.
I had high hopes for this match, and I'm
You were
sure most
let
people did
down.
if they know the history and the pedigree of these competitors, these wrestlers, and it delivered. It delivered full bore. The crazy thing about this match too, which I'm sure you'll get into, is that it really told a story too, especially about the Young Bucks. In one match, you could see them completely change from who they used to be. Uh,
Yeah.
so,
That I kind of didn't care for too.
oh
Because
really? Okay.
I felt they went a little overboard. I was like, okay, we get it. We get it. You're bad guys now. You don't have to keep reminding us, especially when they do it instead of trying to win the match. That kind of annoyed me a little
Mm,
bit. But I mean, they're bad guys, so we're supposed to not like them, right? So whatever. One thing it's a weird thing for me to say, but you've got the Young Bucks and you've got PAC and Phoenix, like four of the best guys in the world, and it's weird because you expect greatness, and this was great, and it's not a letdown, but it's almost like, oh, okay, you know,
it was just good enough.
you
Yeah.
yeah, like them
Yeah.
being great is like, well,
I get it.
we see you be great every single time you come out, right? So I don't want to like say that it was a bad thing, but it felt kind of weird. So it made me, I guess, maybe it hurt my enjoyment of this. Maybe just like a tad bit, but it's like I always expect these guys to be awesome, and they were awesome, but they weren't extra awesome, So I
Mm,
guess I'm just being spoiled about getting to watch these guys,
I get
right?
what you're saying.
Yeah.
It was great, but not extraordinary. Yeah.
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 So the Young Bucks, who should they come out with? But they come out with none other than Don Callis. And Don Callis did the greatest thing in the world in this episode, but it comes much later in the episode, but we won't
Okay.
spoil that later. But the Young Bucks come out with Don Callis, and I just said, motherfucker. This no. So they show the turn, as they say, is complete, and they show clips from Friday night. They did the AEW, I guess, did a house show on Friday night, and they showed that the Death Triangle and the Seidels beat the Elite in a 10-man tag. Yeah. So, just a couple of highlights. They note that the Young Bucks they got rid of the tassels. Their gear is much less colorful, and so when they're in, Matt instinctively walks to the good guy's side, but Phoenix is there, so he has to roll to the other side of tag. Nick and Phoenix are in. What do you say about them? They do like 1,000 moves. I probably don't know most of the names of them. It's crazy. It's good. You should watch it. There's nothing else really to say on that. PAC hit a badass brainbuster on Matt Jackson. Tonight was the night of badass brainbusters. If you like brainbusters, which I do, one of my favorite moves in all of wrestling is a perfectly executed brainbuster. So this part I wanted to talk about. So Matt distracts the ref, and Nick grabs Pac's legs while he runs the ropes. And this is one of those those little spots that they do to like make the crowd boo. It's like, oh, he interfered. But there's so much outside interference by and not in this match, but in like other matches with, if Matt Hardy's the manager, or if Wardlow is out there, or if Jake Roberts, or one of the other guys, Cash or Tully or something, and it makes that part look less impactful because there's so much damn interference that when somebody somebody in the match doing like a distracted ref spot, it's like no big deal.
Yeah, I
It's
get
like
what
no
you're
big
saying.
deal.
Rings
And
hollow.
yeah, it's like I don't think any less of Matt, or I don't want to boo or Nick. I don't want to boo Nick because it's like he's just trying to win the match. So, and like he's legal, he's in the match, so it's not like a dirty thing for him to do, right?
Yeah, any
I
tag team
don't
would
know.
do that. That's true.
Yeah. So the
Yeah.
Bucks hit a double apron bomb, and we go to picture in picture in 18 minutes. Ew. No. So yeah, so when they come back from break, the Young Bucks are really hamming it up. They're playing like, they're pretending to fire up. They're going crazy. They're doing weird things. Matt Jackson gets down on his knees and prays and fake cries. I'm gonna say that's some kind of knock on WWE that happened in WrestleMania this past weekend, but I don't know. So I don't know for sure, but I want to say that's something like it. I don't know, but yeah. And then Phoenix comes in. He goes nuts. He hits a double lethal injection for 2 on Nick. German from PAC onto Matt gets a 2.9. That one almost had me. They almost had me. All 4 of them have a super kick party. Nick hits a monkey flip, hits his back on the ropes into a destroyer. That was probably the biggest holy shit moment of the night. Double poison Rana's on the floor. One by Nick, one by Phoenix onto the other guy's partner. The crowd chants AEW, and PAC tags Phoenix. It's an avalanche brainbuster and a frog splash on Matt gets 2. Bullshit. That should have been the finish. I mean,
yeah,
you hit an avalanche brainbuster and a frog splash. You should lose. You shouldn't kick out of that. And
yeah, exactly.
Pat goes for the black arrow, but Nick pushes. He hits it, but Nick pushes Phoenix to break up the pin. And then Nick hits a low blow on Pat because he's a bad guy now. And he rips off Phoenix's mask because he's a bad guy now. And then a double super kick for 3 because Rey Fenix can't kick out because he's covering his face. He's got his mask on. His mask got taken off. And then in the line of the night, you wanna say what the line of the night was?
Yes, I do actually. In the line of the night, Excalibur turns to Tony and asks him if it's okay to say it. And he says, "Go ahead, Excalibur." He says, "The Young Bucks can go straight to hell."
No, that's not what he said. He said
it's not what he said?
Matt and Nick Jackson, you can go straight to hell.
Oh, that's true.
So this
Oops,
is
you're right.
This is of course a playoff of the old NWO when Hulk Hogan turned on WCW and Shivani said, "Hulk Hogan, you can go straight to hell." And the Young Bucks celebrate with Don Callis. So, yeah. In case anybody is wondering, they were always flip-flopping, are they good guys, are they bad guys or not? The Young Bucks are bad guys. So what do you think is going to come of this? I'll tell you what I think after.
Actually, I didn't really think that far ahead. I don't know who their likeliest opponents would be other than Mox and maybe Kingston, but that's not gonna really make up for the difference of the 5 of them against 2, right? So I don't really know where this is going, honestly. I would love to hear what you have to say, honestly, about where you think this is going.
So, no, I don't know if this is where they're going, but I'm wondering.
Where you think this is going, yeah.
Are the Young Bucks really bad guys? Or are they trying to destroy Don Callis from within? Are they trying to get in there and then somehow take Callis out and bring Kenny back to the old Kenny? And I don't know.
Interesting. A double turn, huh?
Yeah.
A double cross.
Yeah. So I actually would have liked PAC and Phoenix to win this match. And the reason why is because what better story and how much more interesting would it be if PAC and Phoenix win the AEW World Tag Team Champions? Something the Lucha Brothers could not do. against the Young Bucks, no less.
So you plant the seeds of doubt in Penta's head, huh?
Yeah, like,
Yeah.
like maybe I'm not the best partner for Ray Phoenix anymore. I don't know. I thought that would be really interesting. Plus, there's so much more like storyline things going on with the Young Bucks that they don't necessarily need the
Need the
tag
belts.
team titles to have intriguing storylines. So I kind of would have
I
liked
yeah.
a title switch here, but whatever.
I agree with you. I actually wanted the title switch too, and I wasn't even thinking about the Penta angle, which would be another angle that they could put in there, like Penta being the third wheel of all this. But I was totally thinking, like you said, that there's way more story angles with the Young Bucks going forward. That they don't need the belts. They could drop the belts, and then they could be in a feud with Kingston and Moxley, right, without the belts on the line. Because it would be odd that Moxley drops the AEW World Championship and then suddenly becomes tag team champion, for example. I don't know. So, but I guess that's not what they have on the cards. I don't know who the Young Bucks' natural opponent will be now, though.
I'm guessing they're gonna take on SCU and then they're gonna beat SCU and then it's like
And it's
SCU's
going to force
broken
them
up
to.
and then
Mm,
that'll make the Bucks really really bad, really
mm.
hated. I don't know. Maybe. Anyway, Hangman is in the back with the Dark Order. Go ahead. Tell your thoughts before I recap this.
I'm guessing you didn't like this.
No, I didn't like this.
It was fine. It wasn't anything
It
great.
it wasn't
Yeah.
terrible, but I could have done without this.
It was a little too comical to be. Yeah, I don't know what the right word is, but it was comical bordering on absurd. Let's put it that way. Yeah. So go ahead.
So yeah, so Marvez is in the back. He asks Hangman about the Bucks and the Good Brothers and what does he think of all this, and he's totally dodges the question. He says, "I'm gonna go get some egg rolls," and he walks off. And then the Dark Order is with Silver, and they're trying to help him rehab his shoulder, and he's lifting his arm and going crazy and completely overacting, and is like, "What was this for?" Like sometimes John Silver is really good. Sometimes it's over the top and way too much.
This felt more like a BTE skit to me,
Yeah.
honestly. Yeah.
It does. So I don't know. It wasn't like I wasn't terrible, but it was not good by any means. So Alex Marvez teleports to interview the Inner Circle and Mike Tyson, and Jericho says that they aren't in a beef with Mike Tyson anymore. After they got the beat down by the Pineapple, they changed their attitude and decided to right some wrongs. He called Mike and he offered to be there for Mike offered to be there for Jericho, and Mike Tyson has their backs. And Jericho says, I want you to just call it down the middle. And Mike says he's firm but fair. If Jericho steps out of line, he'll get knocked out again. Anything else you want to say about this?
No, it was nice. It was a good punctuation on what happened last week and really kind of helped to lay down the storyline of why, Mike is on Jericho's side all of a sudden. So I liked it. It was good.
It was
Short and
okay.
simple.
Yeah,
Yeah.
short and simple. So then we got Red Velvet versus Jade Cargill. I want to know what you say about this before I tell you what I say about
This was a good match, but I didn't like the ending.
You did not like the ending.
No, I didn't. Yeah.
Okay.
I
So,
thought it should have gone the other way, honestly. But
really?
yeah.
Okay,
You think so?
so
Oh.
spoiler, Jade beats Red Velvet with the Glam Slam, which is called the Jaded for the 3. So you thought Red Velvet should have won.
Yes, honestly.
Okay.
She has the
Explain.
momentum, right? She has the momentum, right? They're talking she's
The
the number 2
momentum of
contender
what? She lost in that Shaq match. That's the last time we saw her wrestle on Dynamite.
on Dynamite, yes. But we're going back to AEW's,
No, no,
wins
no,
and
no, no.
losses matter. She's the
No, no,
number
no, no,
2
no.
contender. I'm just telling you, they built it up like she has the momentum, right? And so this could be the turn that she, I don't know, climbs over the mountain that Jade is, right? Which is literally a mountain. And she could come into the title picture, which I think they need more of, other than
Jade
here's where we'll get to it. Listen, here's where we'll get to it, because there's only 4 women that we ever see, right? Well, 3 women, if you think about it, really competing for the belt now. Nyla, Sheeta, and Thunder Rosa.
Jade is
So
not gonna lose. She is not. Her first loss in AEW will be the time she loses the championship. She is not gonna lose before that.
she's gonna go straight to the top.
She is. Eventually, I don't know how long it's gonna take, but she is gonna
Mm,
be the champion, and she is not gonna lose before then. And her first loss is gonna be to whoever the hell they decide to be the champion after her. There's no way Jade is gonna lose. But that
yeah.
being said, uh, I always say this about how I know who's gonna win. Blah blah blah. This was actually my match of the night.
Your match of the night.
This
Wow.
was my match of the night, and for
Interesting.
one of the reasons is that the crowd was super into this match.
Yeah,
Right?
they
The
were.
crowd
That's
was
true.
loud as hell. They were cheering for Jade. I mean, cheering for Red Velvet. They were booing the hell out of Jade. The crowd was crazy for this. And I'll tell you something else too. Even though parts of it, in fact, a large part of the build for Red Velvet and Jade Cargill's feud has been terrible and god awful.
Flat.
I mean, we do have an investment. We do know that these women hate each other. Especially Jade has some unreasonable hatred for Red Velvet. She beats him in the Shack match and then still just going on attacking her
Hunting her. Yeah.
attacking her every week, calling her I'm that bitch and just destroying Red Velvet every chance she gets for some reason. And Red Velvet's just like, hey, I'm just trying to have some matches on Dark and Elevation, like just leave me the hell alone. And Jade is still attacking her all the time. But we see and Red Velvet has a lot of fire, and Jade has a lot of. You can see, you can believe in the hatred for each other, and there's emotion behind this match. So one thing that I thought I wanted to bring up too is they talk about Star Wars. So what is the best lightsaber battle? And most everyone technically will say Obi-Wan versus Darth Maul. But what is the best one? Vader versus Luke. Because we care about
Because of the
Vader
stakes. Yeah.
because the stakes we care about Vader versus Luke, and that one is just Luke just swinging for the fences, right? He's just going nuts. So this was what this was. I mean, they pretty much go nuts. Velvet attacks as soon as Jade jumps in the ring, but then she gets bro kicked in the face for it. Jade does a fallaway slam into a bunch of women at ringside. She brings Red Velvet back into the ring by a brainbuster, the move of the night, and then she misses Red Velvet takes control. She misses a moonsault. Jade hits the Jaded and gets the 3. This was my favorite match of the night because, like I said, even though some parts of it were bad, this had the most emotion behind it. Like even the Inner Circle versus Pinnacle is probably more of an emotional and more of a bigger beef. Jericho and Dax aren't like the beef.
Mm.
Like
It's
if
the
it
group.
like if it
Yeah.
was MJF versus Sammy, oh yeah, that would have been like uh, 10
Huge. Yeah.
10,000 times more, right? But
Mm.
Dax and Jericho, like
Yeah. It's a bit
they,
odd.
they had no
Yeah.
beef before this whole Inner Circle Pinnacle, so I don't know.
That's gotta be they gotta be setting that up at some point, right? MJF versus Sammy, right? Gotta
Yeah,
be,
I'm
right?
sure
Yeah.
I'm sure that'll happen eventually. So Tony is with Britt, and she said she's number 3 at 7-1, and look at the number 2 position. Red Velvet just lost, so she should go up and be number 2, and she's gonna be wrestling on Dark and Elevation. So we can have a role model that we can all look up to as a champion. Not she though. She says it like that. Britt Baker's the best. That's all I'm gonna say. What
This
do you
was
got to
great,
say?
but I really hope they don't continue with this for too long or too often,
Because it
or worse, both.
exposes their BS ranking
Yes,
system.
exactly. If she talks about this every once in a while, that's fine. Or if they do it for another week and never talk about it again, that's fine. But if they do this every week, as Brit's promo for like the next month straight, it's gonna get old fast. Like I loved it last week and it was great this week, but like you said, it's gonna expose them really, really badly if she just keeps coming out like, hey, wins and losses don't matter. I'm the number one contender. But yet I haven't wrestled for 3 weeks, for the championship. What's up with that?
For me, it
It's gonna
already
it's
has
gonna be bad.
exposed them, but that's neither here nor there.
That's true, but it's because we really look behind the curtain on a lot of this stuff, right? Most casual viewers aren't really putting two and two together about number one contenders and wins and losses, right? So this just puts a spotlight on it, and it's not good if it continues too long, in my opinion.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
forgot. We totally forgot to do the shirt gimmick. So we kind of passed the match that it's relevant to. So you've got some spicy lucha sauce, the Lucha
That's right.
Brothers.
Gotta represent, but
Very good. Oh,
What about you?
I am wearing a Strong Style
Strong
has
style, huh?
arrived Shinsuke Nakamura shirt.
Interesting.
I don't really have high hopes for it. I did when he came to WWE, but now yeah, he's just another guy on the roster.
How long is he under contract for until?
I don't know, but I mean, he renewed like not that long ago. He's happy there.
Oh,
He's happy there, so
okay.
I mean, if he's happy, then who the hell cares?
Who the hell are we to say? Yeah,
Yeah,
that's true.
I want to see him do better. I want to see him as a champion and be in like better matches. But hey, happy. He's got his money. He's doing well. He's got his family here. He's healthy. What else? Who cares? Who cares about a fake belt and what some dumbass on the internet about his match?
We do. I do, damn it.
So next we got Anthony Ogogo versus
Somebody. Cole Carter.
Cole Carter. See, but I mean, like
I
it
just
took him.
remembered.
It took him almost to the end of the match for them to actually say his name.
That's true. He was pretty much, yeah.
I mean, if they don't even announce your name, like they announced Anthony Ogogo is gonna wrestle next week, and
Oh,
yeah.
foregone conclusion already, but that's what's gonna happen.
But what did you think of this match?
So as a squash, it was fine. As a squash, it was fine. I understand they wanted Go to look strong, and he is strong. I mean, he came out there and did his business. But I think I'll let you. I think I'll let you get into it,
Okay.
and then
So
I'll just bookend what do you have to say.
A couple things. They don't really do a. I mean, I guess they kind of explain he's an Olympic bronze medalist, but they don't really like slam home why this guy Anthony Ogogo is having his debut match on Dynamite, whereas how many other people can't even get on Dynamite, but this guy's gonna have his debut match on Dynamite. So I don't think they did a really good job. Anyway, he comes out with his guys. They're called the Factory, I guess is their nickname.
So they just dropped the Nightmare.
Their name, yeah. So
And
they're
just
just
the
the Factory, and his nickname is the Governor. His Anthony Ogogo's song, I don't know if it's all of the Factory, but anyway, the song is badass. And QT comes out in a bowling shirt. He's like doing his Charlie Harper impression from 2.5 Men. I don't know about that. So they mentioned Cole Carter has been in the business for 7 months, and there really wasn't much to it. Anthony Ogogo punched him in the stomach, and then the ref is just like, "Oh, that's the end of the match." So, like, okay, that's fine.
Okay, sure, okay.
I thought he would, like, I guess it makes him like a badass, right? Like he's just gonna start punching people, and they're gonna drop. But
and they'll call the match.
I thought
for
there
that
would
reason?
be,
Yeah.
I thought there would be much more to it, but whatever, it was fine. It was okay.
You bring up a good point. I didn't think of that though. They didn't really build Ogogo at all. Now that you said that, I thought you're right. It would have been perfect if they had a video package of him, just 20 seconds. Like, hey, I fought, X, Y, and Z, and I have a record of whatever,
Yeah.
and now I'm coming to AEW to take over. I'm gonna fucking lay my claim, right? That would have been perfect.
Or it would have been good, like a video package too, where he's like, "Oh yeah, I was a bronze medalist boxer, but look what I can do wrestling wise," and they have like a video package of him like tossing people in the ring or something.
Mm.
I don't know. I mean, it was good. It was like week 1. This is his first match.
Well, yeah,
whatever.
he's fine, but I gotta say,
He's got a good look.
Yeah, he's fine. He's perfectly fine. I take him seriously as a real legitimate threat. We got to talk about this Factory though, man.
Go ahead.
I do not take them seriously as a faction whatsoever.
Because of
I just
QT?
don't. Yes. And I don't know what it is. Aaron Swallow, I'm sorry, but he doesn't look like Solo, whatever. He doesn't look like I would take him seriously either.
Okay.
But then QT, like you said, he comes in with a bowling shirt on. He got this kind of like scowl look.
Yeah.
And I was like, dude, I just can't. I just can't.
It's QT. It's really just QT because he's not
believable
as a pissed off bad guy.
Yeah, I'm sure he would beat my ass, and I'm not taking that away from him.
Yeah.
He's a fit dude, don't get me wrong, but he just looks like
he doesn't look like a bad guy.
Dad. He looks like a bowling shirt is a perfect example. Like it's like what? I don't know. I just can't take it seriously. I just cannot. He comes off as he comes off as a DB and not in the way that like MJF does. You know, like
Okay.
you're just kind of a DB, man. Like, yeah.
I just
So
don't buy him as a bad guy. I don't know. But then,
that,
speaking of
yeah.
somebody who is a bad guy, even though he's not a bad guy, we get a look at Miro, and he says Kip hasn't been showing up to work, and he wants to smooth things over, and he's moving on with or without Kip, and he's coming for some gold. So I guess that makes sense. I mean, if you were Kip and you made Miro lose his first match, you probably wouldn't show up to work either.
I wouldn't show up for probably an entire year
Yeah.
until I don't know. Hope he just forgot. Maybe I'll come back with a different look, like Sean Spears or something. Like just change up my look entirely. Kip, is that you? No, man. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
This is great. I love Miro. He just needs a promo every week.
He does. He does. He's good.
Why? Why?
We've got Jericho versus Dax with Cash in Dax's corner and Sammy is in Jericho's corner. What did you think of this match?
It was good. It was a slow, methodical match. It told the story. I liked that. I liked that there was a lot of moving parts, but it was still. This may sound weird, but it was still easy to follow what was going on. I guess you know what I mean.
So for
Uh,
me, the best way I can sum it up is it's exactly what you would expect. Good,
that's a good
solid.
point.
You knew who was gonna win before the match started. You knew how he was gonna win before he started, and you knew what was gonna happen after the match too. Right? So here we
Yeah.
go. Special intro for Mike Tyson, and then Aubrey sends Tully to the back, and in another line of the night, JR says he knows the rules.
That
So
was a good line.
exactly what you would expect especially from a special enforcer on the outside. Jericho grabs a chair, Tyson stops in. Cash grabs the bat, they stop him. Like Cash tries to interfere, Mike Tyson's like no. Sammy tries to interfere, is like no. And then another line of the night is when this was kind of a flub by JR, but he says the best officials, in my opinion, are the ones that remain indivisible. Perfect. So Dax hits a slingshot powerbomb, gets a 2 line tamer. Everybody starts jumping up, everybody starts interfering, everybody starts trying to distract the other one. Everybody's kung fu fighting, all that crap. Jericho hits a code breaker. Pinnacle and Inner Circle come out. They all fight. Everybody's fighting, and then Tyson stops Cash from hitting Jericho with the bat. Gets Cash. So Cash tries to hit Tyson, and he eats a right cross from Tyson. He's knocked the F out. And then Jericho hits the Judas Effect for 3. And then the Inner Circle run off the Pinnacle. So exactly what it should have been, exactly what it was, and everything like that. Jericho's then on the mic, and he announces that Mike Tyson is an ancillary member of the Inner Circle. So
Beautiful.
I mean,
Nice.
like if you had asked us what's gonna happen next week in this match, we would have said exactly what just happened.
Yeah, I wouldn't have been able to really call who got that knockout punch from Mike, but
Yeah.
other than that, yeah, it was perfect. It was good. Uh, there was one thing. Oh, so my wife had had a really funny observation when we were watching the
Okay.
match. She said, as Jericho was winning, she's like, "I can't believe I'm cheering for Jericho,"
That's actually good.
and it's so totally true. Like
Did she
that's
not like
what's so.
Jericho before?
She hates bad
I
guys,
mean, she
man.
probably liked him in like he's entertaining, but didn't like his attitude and how he was a bad guy, right?
Yes, that's a good point. She respects him as a wrestler, and I guess as a performer, he's funny as hell. But she's like,
Yeah.
I can't. This guy's such a bad guy. He's such a tool. But now it's like, yeah, Jericho won. It's like, wow. And she's like, I can't believe I'm cheering for him.
What a turn of events.
Yeah. I mean, that's what's so great about wrestling, and I know we say this a lot, but it it makes you really put aside you know
There are
your preconceived notions and just be like, hey,
there are some
these.
people I'll
Yeah.
never cheer for, but I'm not gonna get into that.
Okay. But from week to week,
I get what you're
the,
saying
the
though.
guy you could hate, the guy you could hate last week could be your hero this week, right? And that's
Yep.
what's so great about wrestling.
And
It's
the
so good.
opposite is true too.
Yes,
But not John
absolutely.
Moxley, he's good forever. He's funny, smart, and great.
Funny, smart, and great.
So Marvez teleports to the outside to talk to the elite, and then Callis says, "This is the best thing in the show." So Callis says, "Just when you think you've seen it all, you haven't seen anything." And he calls the Young Bucks the best tag team of the last 2,000 years. And Carl Anderson and Doc Gallows agree. Okay. So Kenny's on the mic. He said, "Why did you change, Kenny? Why did you change, Bucks?" And he said they got sick of doing what everybody wanted them to do. And Matt says they're back and the tag team division is put on notice. And Callis says, "You wanted the old Kenny back and you wanted the old Bucks back, so you got them. And be prepared to be surprised again." And the Bucks fake a double super kick on the cameraman, but then they don't do it. But then Don Callis super kicks the cameraman. This was the greatest thing I've ever seen in my life. I was laughing so hard when I saw this. Don Callis, he is such a tool bag, but he does it so well. There's no one like him. He's just so good. I don't know how he does this.
I love Don Callis.
He's such a slime ball, but it's so good.
Yeah, you're totally right. Like, you love to hate him, and it's just so good. Everything he does, like, I don't know how he does it week in and week out. I don't know how he does it without like laughing through everything he's doing.
Or the other people laughing too, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so good.
And I want to believe that a lot of these ideas are coming from him, like the portrait of him and Kenny. And then the time when they him and Kenny entered the ring synchronized.
That was so good.
I really feel like these are just little things he adds in on his own, and it's just so damn good.
He's a genius. I'll give him credit.
Yeah. So give
me the mic, Don. Give me the mic.
Yep. So going from the best thing on Dynamite, we go to a special look at Thunder Rosa. She says she wants the AEW and NWA championship. She's coming for both. She's here to take over the world. Then we've
One hit after another.
Then we've got Chris Stanley versus Amber Nova. I'm not even gonna let you talk about that last part. No, go ahead. Do you have anything you want to say about that last part?
Anything I want to say won't be good.
Okay.
So let's just leave it at that. Yeah. So.
Yeah. And like we always have to say, like a broken record, Thunder Rosa is fine as a wrestler. I'm just sick of her being shoved down our throat because I don't think she's the best by any means.
Yeah, and guess what? She's still getting more limelight.
Yeah.
It's like they're watching this and knowing that, hey, Beachblasters aren't fans. Let's do more.
So, Chris Statlander versus Amber Nova. What did you think of this?
It was fine. I don't know. I'm kind of mixed on this one. Like, for them to have two women's matches in a Dynamite is a big deal, right?
It is.
But for one of them to be a squash was kind of like, why even have this at all then? I get that they need Statlander to be able to say, like, hey, Statlander's back. But they could have just had like a real actual match for Statlander if it was just going to be a squash to prove, hey, she's back and she's better than ever. And, it was a good match. I felt like they were just throwing Amber Nova to the wolves here, even though we knew it was going to be a squash.
Which is exactly what happened. So
yeah,
I think Chris Statlander as a wrestler is very good. I just can't get behind the character. I don't get it. I don't like it. I think it's like illusion breaking. But that being said, there wasn't really much of the match. She pretty much beat the crap out of Amber Nova, who can take a beating, and got pretty much no offense. Statlander just beat her up, hit her move, Supernova. That looks like it's gonna break someone's neck someday. I hope she gets a new move.
Yeah.
And yeah,
that's what I was afraid of too.
But it was fine. Chris Statlander's good in the ring. The alien thing, I don't get it. If anybody else likes it, that's fine. I don't, so I don't have anything else to say about that.
One odd thing I'll say about the match, well, not so much the match, but the entrance was Statlander came out to Cassidy's music, which is odd.
Yeah, I was gonna mention that too. Maybe that's the best friends music now, and not just Cassidy. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Maybe
that's true.
I mean, I don't know how much Tony Khan paid for that, but maybe he's just like, we paid a lot of money.
We paid a lot for this.
Play that damn song every time.
So we're using it every chance we get.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, but so Dasha is with Team Taz, and she says,
here we go.
You want to say something before?
What does Team Taz have to say about anything and everything.
Well,
No,
you wanna give your thoughts before or after?
Ricky Starks. That's all I gotta say, man. Some somebody give this guy a TV show, please. Yeah, so
Yeah.
good. Go ahead.
He needs to be like the I know it's a reality show, but if when they do that Cody and Brandy reality show, just have Ricky as the annoying ass neighbor.
He just keeps coming
He just
over
keeps
to
coming.
cause
How's
shit.
the baby, Brandy? And she's like, it's fine. He's like, oh, your baby's so cute, Brandy. You know, just be so irritating all the time.
Oh, that'd be perfect. Oh,
So
go ahead.
Dash just says it's been a week, and Ricky flips out. He says, "We shouldn't be waiting a week. We're Team Taz." And Taz says, "Hey, no, Ricky, you stay backstage." And then Brian says, "You know what? I agree, Ricky. You've been acting stupid lately." And Ricky just has this shock look on his face, like he can't believe that they want him to stay in the back. And then Taz tells Brian Stage to stay backstage too, and they're gonna recruit Christian Cage. So
And Stark's face changes
yeah.
immediately when he says that. He goes from like kind of this shocked, like surprised look, like, "You talking about me? Me?" And then when they turn it around on Brian, he's like,
Yeah, that's right. So Shivani's in the ring, and he introduces Christian Cage, and for once he's in front of the audience. Christian says he's got an open contract, and that's all he gets out because Taz interrupts. He says, "What the fuck, dude? We didn't get a reply. It's been a week." And Christian says, "Well, you know what? I didn't come to fix Team Taz's problems." And he drops a sick burn. He says he's glad that Taz is standing on the steps so he can say it face to face. And he tells him no. And that Taz runs him down. He says, "You know, if I was standing on my wallet, I'd be 10 feet taller than you." And Christian says, "Yeah, that bingo hall money." Ding. And then they run each other down. Taz says he never liked Christian and he never liked his buddy that he's always hanging out with. And Hobbs and Hook come down. And then Christian starts beating up Hobbs, but then Hook distracts him, so Hobbs wipes him out. And then Hobbs destroys Christian. He rubs his foot on Christian's head, which is between the steel steps. So I'm thinking something might happen between them. But they take this time to announce the card for next week, which is Shida is going to take on Ty Conti for the AEW Women's Championship. And lo and behold, Powerhouse Hobbs is going to take it on Christian Cage. Tony Khan got the match signed before Cage could even
work fast.
Before Christian could even stand up and walk to the back. Tony Khan's got that match signed. So
yeah,
there you go. And in the match that I am most anticipating, Ricky Starks versus Hangman Page. Hell to the yeah. Wednesday can't come fast enough.
Yeah, this is gonna be a barn burner for sure.
Trent with a question mark. Did you notice that?
Yeah, I guess because they don't know his last name.
What is that supposed to be?
Because the gimmick is, the joke is that they don't know his last name, so they try to say Trent.
Why is that a joke? Why wouldn't they know what his last name is?
I'm just telling you, whenever they announce him, they don't know what his last name is.
So much of the best friends things are just so damn annoying. Like, why wouldn't they know his last name? That's so dumb.
That's true.
And why we know his last name is supposed to be Beretta. It's I don't know what his real last name is, but he's been Trent Beretta before, so why are we supposed to we're supposed to not know too all of a sudden now? Whatever.
Yeah, why can't he just be Trent, right?
Why isn't he
Christian?
Why can't they just be Trent and then everything is fine? But then they got to pull this Trent question mark thing? Like, come on. So anyway, he's taking on Penta. Hopefully Penta beats the crap out of him.
We're supposed to be impartial here, man. We're only supposed to call the matches after.
Are we supposed to be impartial? I'm not impartial.
Probably, yeah. We're supposed to be indivisible, okay? Indivisible.
Okay.
All right.
So we've got the main event, the TNT Championship on the line, Darby Allin versus Matt Hardy. Your thoughts?
Was that the last match that they called out for next week? Yeah, you're right. Okay.
As far as I got.
Oh, I thought there was one more.
Wrong.
Okay. This was the match of the night for me.
Really?
Yeah, I love this not empty arena. I love these kind of like arena brawl matches, street fights, these types of things, because it always makes me happy to see things take place out of the ring. Like, these guys are wrestling, and they're really trying to beat the shit out of each other. So you really think that 3 ropes are gonna keep them from just, going to town on each other, right? Obviously, the rules state they have to, but when they finally let the rules down for these types of matches, I like to see that kind of stuff. And
Yeah.
this match
So
was great.
so
Yeah.
interrupt real quick. This is no DQ false count anywhere. And keep going.
No,
Oh,
go
that's
ahead.
it. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, I liked it. This match was okay, but as much as this is your cup of tea, this is the kind of wrestling you like. This is the kind of wrestling I don't like. I don't really like
Mm,
interference. I don't like weapons. I don't like crap outside the ring. I just like it to, I just like a good old fashioned wrestling match, like Christian versus Frankie Kazarian. That's my kind of thing.
mm.
So anyway, but I mean, that's just everybody has different tastes. I mean, mine are better, but that's just another.
Shit.
That's just another thing people have to
All
deal with.
right, this is over.
So Matt has a chair immediately, and then so they mentioned that Matt said he wanted to do it on his own. So Matt Hardy Party is not in the back, or what is their name? The Hardy
Hardy
family.
Family Office.
Hardy Family Office. So before they didn't mention this on Dynamite. I guess I don't know for privacy or whatever, but it was in the news that Matt and Jeff's dad passed away. So if by any chance either of them ever watch this, condolences to them. It sucks, and sorry for your loss. But anyway,
Sorry.
Matt, the professional, comes out, does a good match, and so eventually, of course, Matt Hardy being the bad guy, he's not really wanting to do this on his own. All his buddies come out. They're pretty much 5-on-1ing Darby, and the Dark Order come out to even the odds, and so does Sting, and he handles Private Party. He beats the crap out of them by himself. He double clotheslines them over the top. Everyone is fighting. And then for some reason, Scorpio and Ethan Page come down to the ring. But then Lance Archer stops them, and he looks like he has Sting's back. But then he grabs Isaiah Cassidy and gives him the blackout, and he looks at Sting. He smiles and laughs. Sting tosses the bat to Darby, which is like a big symbolic moment, right?
Yeah.
Passing down the torch, but it's in the form of a bat. He goes for a shot on Matt Hardy, but Matt Hardy hits a low blow. Twist of fate with Darby's head in between a chair. Darby kicks out. What? They fight to the back. Matt Hardy sets up a ladder. He leg drop off the ladder through a table. Darby kicks out again. They come back out, and Darby hits his own low blow, and then he grabs the bat. He whacks Matt with the bat, destroys the announce desk with it. He chokes Matt with the bat, puts him on the table. He climbs all the way up to some kind of structure, and then
Truss. Yeah, the truss.
Okay. And then he hits a coffin drop from about 1 billion feet in the air through the table and gets the 3. Darby Allin is triumphant at the end. He's the face of TNT. He's holding the belt up. A good, big old victory for him. Darby Allin is awesome. There's,
Yeah.
What else can you say about that?
That match had some crazy spots. And I get what you were saying about you like the pure wrestling matches. I totally understand that. And I'm actually with you on the fact that I don't like blood. So I'm not the biggest fan of blood. I mean, sometimes it happens. But if they're just going out there to literally cut themselves to prove how dangerous a match is, I'm not the biggest fan of that.
Yeah.
So luckily they didn't do that in this one because we know it's already dangerous enough as it is. I thought those spots were crazy. One thing that I was not a fan of, and I actually blanked out on it until you brought it up again in your rundown of the match, was Ethan Page and Scorpio Sky.
Oh.
God, like, what are they doing with these two? Ethan Page, I don't really have. There's no dog in the fight for me on that one. I don't really care what they do with him, but I really feel like they're just wasting Scorpio.
Yeah, they're totally wasted. The other guys who are being wasted is Private Party. Remember when Dynamite first started? Private Party was so big. They were like on their way to being to the top, and now they're just 2 lackeys for Matt Hardy.
Yeah, that's a good point, man. They're just throwing
Private Party has gone really downhill. I mean, and it's not their fault.
They just have too much. You brought it up last week. Dynamite just has too much going on. It's like, what are we gonna do with all these guys? Well, okay, we'll just do this and that.
Yeah.
And it's unfortunate because, any one of these guys could carry a lot of momentum, could carry the show in some way, So.
Yeah, but I agree. Like Ethan Page, I don't know. Like, okay, and then Scorpio is just being wasted. I don't know why they're doing this with Scorpio.
Yeah,
He's too much of a likable guy to just be doing this. I'm being overlooked. It's like, except you're not being overlooked, dude. And
Yeah.
anyway, we can go on with that forever. But next week's gonna be a big one. We might do 2 hours just on Ricky Starks versus Hangman Page, right?
Yeah, I agree. Ricky Starks, man. Quickly becoming the best part of Dynamite.
Yeah,
And he
I mean,
doesn't
he's one of the best parts of Dynamite every week.
yeah. He hasn't even wrestled in Dynamite in how long, too.
Yeah,
Oh,
I think his last match was whenever he probably lost to Darby, right?
yeah, that was a while ago, huh?
Or something. I don't remember
Didn't
what
they
he
have a
did,
tag
but
match? No.
oh, but yeah.
Yeah.
Either way, anything he does is awesome. So that should be good next week. Anything else you want to add before we wrap this up?
No, I think you wrapped it up. I think we're good.
Okay. So that's it for us. We'll be back next week. Another AEW Dynamite recap. Stay tuned. We might have something else on the docket as a surprise. Don't hold your breath because you might die because we don't know when or if we're going to actually do it. But until then, there's a bunch of buttons that you can press to show your support for us. Please do if you're so inclined. If you're not, then don't do it. But that's it for us. Another week down. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you later. Be good. Stay safe.
Yep. Thanks, guys. Take care.